everyone. Swoon Sisters here to talk about Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan. We're a little bit early. I know, got some things to do later, so thank you for indulging me. I really appreciate every single one of you, especially my co-hostess with the co-mostess.
Well, you, because I kept changing the date on you. I felt so bad.
No, it's fine. Like, when I said, like, yes, let's do it Thursday, and then my husband's like, oh, you mean the day we're leaving for camping? I'm like, dang it.
That's why I was like, why would you say Thursday if you were leaving for camping? I was so confused.
That's because for some reason I didn't have my camping trip in my calendar, which I normally do, but it's my memory. You know this about me. My memory is not. Hi, Cool Gamer. How are you? Thank you for supporting. Cache and I were literally talking about how you were on every single live ever.
Literally every single one.
Hello, William. How are you? You are awesome. You're more awesome. Okay, so Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan. Like, I knew the triggers because you were so gracious to post them. Like, when we
like. I feel like one of the triggers though was not in the list that I found online. I feel like there's a big trigger that was not in the list.
So this is what I mean. I just like wrote I also have them like on my
the one
on my story graph. I listed all the triggers as well.
The one that I was thinking about was forced pregnancy.
Oh yes,
and that was not in the because I just looked up the content warnings because I was like, I don't know, I haven't read the book, so I just went off what the internet said.
Okay, yeah, I need to add that too because yeah, that's a huge one.
That's what I was like. That's the forced pregnancy not being a trigger.
You know what? I kind of thought that, like, when she wound up like pregnant, I was like, he probably did something.
We already done knew that because she was already sus of him. But that was getting ahead of ourselves.
I know, or I was like getting ahead of ourselves. But yeah, haven't read this book, but I'm here to support. Thank you so much. You really appreciate it. Good. I'm glad you're good. We're good. Deja, if you would like to introduce yourself.
Oh, hi. I'm Deja. My channel is Deja's Book World. I haven't been there for approximately 50 days, I think. 50. But I'm here, so I'll be there soon. It's hard to make content when you don't read for a month.
That's true.
It is difficult because what are you going to talk about?
On your BookTube channel? Not a whole lot. I mean, you could do a tag or something.
Yeah, I could have, but like me and books were like,
no.
I just guessed. I was like, I think about 50 days. It was 50 days, 1 hour was the last time I posted a video. 50 days, 1 hour. Yeah, I was pretty good estimating.
Yeah, as you heard earlier. I read the book 2 months ago and loved it. Awesome. Yeah, if we want to start with star ratings, we can definitely do that. 5 stars all the way, definitely. I mean, I was feeling emotions. I cried in the shower last night. Like, honestly, it was
not in the shower.
No, I was like, I got in the shower and my husband was like, why are you, like, what's wrong? And I was like, my book is sad.
It is.
But really still sad. 5 stars. Like, it made me feel all the things.
Yeah.
But the retribution after everything that went down was sweet. And then also it ended just wonderfully. And I feel like August is just the perfect hero. Like,
he is.
He's just so perfect. Like, do you want to do a kind of like a summary, or I can do it, whatever you want to do?
Lord, nobody ever talks about the summary of this book, and I think there is a reason why.
Yeah, I mean, like
all I knew about this book, all that anybody ever said was like, it's a romance and it's emotional and there's a lot of triggers and it has to do with basketball, but like not really. And like that's all that anybody ever said.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But it's about like this girl. I don't remember names, bro.
Her name
was Iris. Iris.
I was gonna call her Gumbo. I was like, that's not her name. That's just what they call her. They call her Gumbo. Okay, but you Iris.
It's about this woman. Her name is Iris, and Iris is at the beginning of the book. She's in college and she has this boyfriend. What is his name? Does it start with a J? Is it Jackson? No,
Caleb.
I don't know where I got Jackson, but I don't know where that came from. Caleb. She has this boyfriend named Caleb,
you guys.
and he is in college basketball, and then he is going to at the beginning of this game or at the beginning of the book. He's about to have like a big game against his rival, who's been his basketball rival since they were in high school. Yeah. And the night before the game, she's like trying to watch a different sports game, and then she runs into the rival of her boyfriend, but she doesn't know that she knows it's the rival, but he doesn't know that she is his rival's girlfriend. There we go. And then they both get drafted into the NBA, and we just follow that. And she's like, she wants to get into like sports stuff too, but like, what would you even call it? Like, not like sports management, but like working like with sports teams and like sports. I'm gonna just say sports management.
I feel like, yeah, it is sports management. Like, yeah, absolutely. Because she ended up like wanting to work for what's his name, Jared, and he was the agent, right? He was an agent, so it's like I feel like, yeah, it's like a sports management. Yeah, 100%. Fantastic, yeah. Awesome. So yeah, and honestly, like if you like, I don't read heavily on the sports romance. I don't mind them. I don't mind sports romances. But, I mean, you get games here and there, and you get, like, some basketball references, but you don't have to know, like, anything about basketball to enjoy this book.
But I like sports romances, and I don't even like sports.
I don't like sports either.
I think it's just because I talk to a lot of athletes. I think that's genuinely what it is. Because I love a good athletic man.
My husband is watching the Suns right now, and so it's just like, oh, like you're watching the Suns while I'm reading a basketball sports romance. That's hilarious. But yeah, so I mean, it's not heavy on the sports at all, but very heavy on triggers and content warnings. So I do have the full list of triggers and content warnings on my Storygraph. The link to my Storygraph was in my Goodreads review. But yeah, it does talk about, there's domestic abuse, there's rape, sexual assault, gun violence, postpartum depression, as Deja was saying earlier, forced pregnancy, which is something that's not listed, as she was saying earlier, that needs to be listed because that is triggering, and it is a form of rape as well. They talk about the Katrina, the natural disaster where she was a survivor, and death of a parent. There's some medical content, grief, gore, blood, vomit, things like that. So yeah, definitely go in and look at the full list because it's a lot. So, and the rape and sexual assault stuff is very graphic and on page. So just prepare yourself for that. It's very, very emotional. And also like confinement. He basically helps her in their apartment. So okay, I'm gonna add that because I don't think I put that in my triggers. So I'm gonna put that. I love sports. It's more of a hobby, but I write rap music. Yes, that's awesome.
I love that.
But
other series then.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't honestly. I knew going in that I didn't read a full list of triggers going in because I'm not really, me as personally, I think Deja, you're like this as well. We don't get triggered by books. Like if horrible things happen in books, yes, it's very sad and I might cry, but it's like, it's not something that, triggers either traumatic experiences from my past or if something has happened to me. So I'm like, I feel comfortable not investigating triggers to their full extent, like before reading a book, but you might not be. So this is one of that is very, very heavy. And it lasts for a good portion of the book as well.
It's not like half the book.
Yeah. It's not like one scene and done. It's like, it's a good half of the book for sure. And, poor Iris, like as Deja said in the beginning that, she's with this boy or her boyfriend in college, and they've been with each other for like a good chunk, like 2 years. They said like they were dating like in college or something like that. Yeah, so they'd been dating for a while, and he doesn't show his true colors until she gives birth. She has an quote unquote accidental pregnancy, an unplanned pregnancy, and it kind of, throws everything off her because she had big dreams. She didn't want to kind of, be the basketball player's wife. She wanted to have a career of her own, and kind of like threw everything, for a loop. And he didn't show his true colors until after the baby was born. The baby does not get abused, so you don't have to worry about that. But he does abuse Iris a lot. So just be careful going into that. And there's a big fight at the end where shooting guns and things. So yeah. Just gonna go right into spoilers because I feel like we can't really talk about a lot of stuff in this book without spoiling. But again, I just kind of want to get away from the bad things because I feel like we can talk about the bad things that happened in this book like all night, right? So but as you read the trigger list, you can understand like the bad things that are happening. But the good things, I love the chemistry between Iris and August, and I love his relationship with her, but then also with the baby. Like he like looks at her and just falls in love with this little baby, and that I love that so much when it's like a male character and their love interest is either a single parent or in that situation and they just fall in love with the baby. I adore that so much, and it's one of my favorite things. Like he like just looked into like her eyes and just fell in love with her, and he was even saying like, these two can wrap me around their fingers, like
yeah,
like without a problem. I was like, oh my gosh, so adorable. And after she does get free. She does end up trying to leave once, but then he like denies all of her credit cards.
That was crazy. Because that's
reports their car stolen and said that she kidnapped their daughter. And so it's just like
that's really financial abuse.
Yes, like he really does, like, because he was too calm with her leaving the first time, too calm. And he was like, go ahead. Yep. He's not chasing after her. And she thinks she gets off, pretty easily. And then she goes and tries to rent a room, and her cards are declined, and police pull her over as she's driving away. And it's like, this car has been stolen, and says the woman driving has kidnapped someone's baby, and she is freaking out. And oh my gosh, that was rough. So she basically has to go back into the situation, kind of bide her time to plan to get as much dirt on him as she can for the abusive situations. And she's kind of having to wait for the right moment. And she calls to her, is it her cousin, Lotus, for help. And I love Lotus. And honestly, I thought Lotus's book was next, but it's actually book 3. And I'm like, dang it.
What is next?
Banner and someone else. Banner and Mason or something like
Who's
that.
Banner?
I don't know. That's what I was just like. I was reading the synopsis.
Banner?
Like, people. I want Lotus. Lotus is book number 3.
Is it Lotus and that guy from the team?
Yes. So excited.
Oh my gosh, wait, I forgot my Goodreads logged me out.
No. William, that's totally fine. It's not for everybody. It's really it's a lot for sure. But so yeah, I love Lotus, and I love that she does come to her aid, and they go to Louisiana in the bayou where grandma lives, and she really starts to heal, and I was surprised at the time jumps, but they kind of make sense, right? Like from when August and Iris first meet to when they get together. Obviously, she gets pregnant, all this, here, that, and the other thing. And then, obviously Iris or her baby, I forgot her baby's name. Oh my gosh. Huh. It means princess. But anyway, she's growing up, and when she leaves, she lives in Louisiana for a year, just healing, because that's what she needs, really, honestly. Hey Steph, how are you? Yes, long time. Love this book. Yeah, it's so good. When you said Banner, I automatically thought of Bruce Banner. I just thought of, like, we have a hospital network in Arizona called Banner, and that's honestly what I think about.
Oh wait, no, it's Banner and Jared.
Oh, okay. So,
but Banner is a woman.
Yes, Banner is the
and Jared is the cousin.
Cousin, or step. Are they stepbrothers?
Oh, they're stepbrothers. You're right.
Got it. Okay.
There's too many familial ties. I can't.
I know. So many people are related.
To lovers.
Oh, it is.
It says set in the cutthroat world of sports management. I was right. Sports management.
I like enemies to lovers. I really like Jared. Jared was really good, at when he first was interviewing Iris, and he was kind of being like, checking around. It's like, oh, well, like modeling is over here or something. And he was like, I'm sorry, that was really sexist. And at least he did that. I was like, okay, I like you, Jared.
Yeah. Yeah. And the fact that she threw up on him and he was okay.
And she still got the job, albeit years later. She still got the job.
I feel like that's just an accident. Like, I feel like people who wouldn't just like feel the same, that's kind of not great because stuff happens. Maybe she had food poisoning.
Exactly. He didn't mind it at all. She was mortified, obviously.
Well, of course. Who wouldn't be? Trust me, as someone who's basically thrown up on people multiple times, it's horrifying.
Horrifying.
When I was a child,
in front of people is not.
When I was a child, I don't remember this, but I threw up into my mother's mouth. So, love that for motherhood.
Yeah, she probably will hold that over your head forever.
No, she doesn't really talk about it that much, but
I would. I'd be like, good time.
It was because she did it to herself. Because I said I had to throw up, and so she was carrying me to the bathroom. So instead of carrying me forward, like this way, she carried me towards her. So it just like
it's a rookie mistake. You met Kennedy a couple weeks ago. That's awesome. That's so cool.
Banner is a Latinx queen.
Nice. I'm already intrigued because enemies to lovers. So I'm a fan.
Yes.
Of enemies to lovers. So I love it. But yeah, so I love August. Like I was saying, he's like the perfect hero. Like when he knows something's up, but he doesn't push her because he respects her boundaries of saying, like, obviously she signed an NDA when they separated, and she just wanted it to be dealt with that way because she didn't trust like that he would be, properly punished for what he was doing to her in the world and the NBA and everything, where basically he would get a slap on the wrist, he would miss a few games, and he would still end up getting like partial custody of their daughter. And so she's like, I don't want to risk it because I know how this organization treats battered women. And unfortunately, that's very true. It's you see it on the news fairly often. But so she's like, we're going to do it this way. If you don't leave us alone, I'm going to tell the whole world and you'll just be, you'll be crushed. And he's like, well, you're not going to talk about this anything. So they both signed kind of like this NDA. And August obviously doesn't like that. He knows that she's hiding something, but she explains like the most that she can. And he accepts it. He's like, and I loved when that folder was released with all of her images and stuff. He didn't read it. He just was like, I'm going to wait until you tell me because I know you wanted to tell me. So I'm going to let you tell me your story. And I was like, oh my God, you are perfect. You're perfect. You're perfect. And I was like, Iris, you need to marry this man.
I don't know why my internet is being so bad.
A little choppy.
Yeah, you be cutting up, but I don't know why.
It's probably a combination of our internets. My internet's always terrible, but
not a combination.
A combination. My internet is always terrible, and we recently we got new routers, but we also got this new security system that uses a lot of the Wi-Fi. So even though we did get new routers, it still is. We have a new thing that's using a lot of internet, so it's like, I think we just need to up our internet speed, but Cox is so expensive. So expensive.
Everything's expensive today.
It's expensive.
Everything is.
I know. But so yeah, that's basically what my take of the book is. I loved it, and August is perfect.
Yeah, I love August so much. And I also really like the daughter. She was so cute how she would call him Gus. But he hated that.
Hated it. He hated the nickname Gus, but he loved it when she called him that.
And then at the end where he was like, when I was tucking her in, she asked if I was her new daddy. And then he was like, I love you more than any daddy could.
Oh my gosh. That was the second time. I was trying to hold it together because I was finishing it while I was at work. So I'm like, I can't cry at work. I gotta hold it together. But yeah, it was adorable. I loved it. And he's again had the perfect answer. I love you more than any daddy. And it's like, oh,
That is just so sweet.
it is.
I love that Caleb died though. Ooh.
Oh, I loved it. And August was like, I have to call the ambulance. And she's like, no, we're going to wait. We're going to wait. We're going to wait. Because there ain't no way. I don't want any possible way for him to be revived. Like, I don't want it.
He really would have kept coming after her for the rest of his life.
He was a little cuckoo for Cocoa
But that's what a lot of abusers are. Like you. Yes. Like, people always got to be on the edge of their, not the end of their seat. They're always got to be cautious. Yeah, because even if they haven't talked to their abuser in 20 years, that abuser may still come running back.
Yeah, always looking over their shoulder, always on the run. Yeah, for sure.
That is horrible.
I know. Oh my gosh. And she's like, so we're going to wait to call the ambulance. Even though she was shot in the shoulder, she was like, I'm fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, the adrenaline be getting to you, so I feel like she was okay.
Yeah, that's true. She probably didn't. I mean, she felt it. But yeah, when your adrenaline's going, you don't feel the pain. It's always worse the next day.
Yeah, she's probably feeling it the next day.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
The way, though, that he knew where she was.
He knows everything.
He was like, Caleb has too much time on his hands. Isn't he a whole NBA? Like, an NBA player?
I know. It's like, don't you have a job? Don't you have to go dribble some balls or something? Like, why are you?
Like, you have
why do you know where grandma lives in the hidden bayou? Like, how do you know that? And then also, he knew where Lotus lived and worked, like her new apartment and new job in New York that Iris didn't even know about because they had that little falling out. It's like, how do you know all this? Like, and he's like, oh, I had eyes on you as soon as you left the hotel.
Like, Lord, too much time on his hands. That's
what bodyguard. That bodyguard. I wish we had closure on the bodyguard because he deserved some retribution as well.
Yes.
For aiding and abetting.
He did. But I wonder what happened to him.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I would have pushed him down the stairs on my way out.
Oh my gosh. And the way that, like, when she was at the was it like a recreational center? What was it?
Yeah.
And then they were in the closet, and then Caleb was just outside. Like, this man who just, right, like, if you come back, right, and you know someone in your family's out somewhere, you don't just, like, show up there. You just wait for them to come home. Like, he was doing too much.
He was in China.
Yeah, he came back and was like, hey.
He was across the literal earth. He was, and as soon as he found out that August was volunteering the same week as Iris, he flew back, met her at the place, and then beat her up, and then flew back the next day to China. I'm like,
I just can't believe that, bruh. I just can't. And the way that she knew it was him, too. The way she was like, I can hear it. Yes. And August was like, bruh, it's just like a random person. She was like, no. It is him, bro. And then it was him. He just be showing up places and be like,
just staring at her.
Yeah. And the way that when he showed up in Louisiana at the end, and the daughter was like, I saw a monster.
I know.
I was like, not a monster.
I was like, oh, he's there. Oh, he's
like,
there. I was the whole time she was there without a bodyguard because she was so adamant about not having a bodyguard. As soon as she said that, I was like, he's going to show up at the house. He's going to show up there. And poor little baby, I saw a monster. And when she was like looking over Iris's shoulder, I was like, oh my God, he's there. He's there. He's there.
Yeah. And these basketball players be tall as hell.
6'6".
That's what I'm saying.
August was 6'6".
Yeah, I know.
Is that hard or soft? I'm just kidding.
What? Okay. You did not say. Lord, I just didn't expect that.
William, it's okay. You can come back. It's fine.
I didn't expect you to say that. Lord.
But yeah.
How tall is she? Did it ever say?
How tall is she? Well, she kept saying like they were a foot. Like she was like she was a foot shorter, and that could just be like, oh, like I'm just a foot shorter than him. But I was thinking like she was like my height. I'm 5'7", so I was like, I just thought she was my height.
Yeah. See, I'm really short, so 6'6" sounds terrifying. Cause
oh yeah, I'm 5'7" and 6'6" sounds terrifying.
Well, the thing is, that's like what, like a foot taller than you. A lot of men are a foot taller than me. Like it doesn't seem unusual, but a foot and a half.
That's that extra 6 inches.
That's what I'm saying. That's a lot. The tallest man, I've stood next to a 6'3" person before. I probably stood next to a 6'6" person, but it freaked me out and I don't remember it.
You're like, I blocked him out.
I recently hung out with someone who's 6'3", and that was also terrifying. So they're literally like, because you know what? I'm coming to the realization is, for a long time, they told me that I was 5 foot. And then now every time I go, I get 4'11". This has been happening for years. But I just was holding on to that 5 feet tall. But I think like I went up and then I came back down. Like I don't know what happened in that like couple years where I was 5 foot. So I think I'm actually 4'11", but that's okay. But I'm gonna still say 5 foot.
Go get adjusted at the chiropractor.
That's what I need to do before they measure me. I'd be like trying to stand up so straight. I'd be like, and still no. I don't know what happened. But still then he was like, what? This guy was 13, 14, 15. Wait. He was 16 inches taller than me? Wow. 16? So then Gus is 19. No, bro. 19 inches? That's a whole child.
You're like, you can stand next to him and then have a small child on your shoulders and still be.
Because babies are born at like what? Like 20 inches, 21 inches? Yeah. Like 19 to 21? That's a whole baby.
Yeah.
That's horrifying.
The shoulder.
He's a whole baby larger than me.
Mm-hmm. You can always round up, William.
That's what I do. 5 foot, bruh.
5 foot. Hello, son. How are you? Yeah, it's like that's how you're gonna have to just like with the baby, just put the baby on the shoulders and
just stand them up.
Yeah,
not even on top of the head.
Oh yeah, you probably could do that.
But then that's how it would actually match the height because it goes from the head. So I just have to put the baby here like a newborn, and bam.
Yeah. You just have to hold on because they can't stand on her.
Well, yeah, they can't do anything. They're just like floppy.
Yeah.
Bro, my niece and nephew are like whole people now.
They're probably so big.
My nephew, bro, is a whole adult, bro. Every time I see him, I'm like, this is a teenager. This is a teenager.
Is he taller than you already?
Basically. like he length probably. He is so long.
You guys send me pictures. You guys send me pictures because I want to see how big.
He weighs 4 pounds more than his sister. He is heavy.
You know, this comment, I've seen parents like hold their baby's footses in their hand and like kind of balance them that way. Yeah, that kind of.
Oh, but that's like toddler babies.
That kind of freaks me out.
That's like toddler babies though. Look at my niece eating these peppers.
Peppers?
Yeah, because they're eating food now. They were eating like bell pepper.
Okay, I was just like, peppers?
Bell pepper.
Oh my gosh.
She wasn't liking it.
You.
She really was not liking it. Look at her. She is not liking it. Like,
No.
what is this?
Gross.
She was like, nah, bruh.
Call my little nugget because I'm still taller than her. Yep. Okay. What else in this book? I didn't have the physical copy, so I didn't do any.
Yeah, I don't have the physical copy. But yeah. I mean, I feel like we're just not talking about a lot of it because a lot of it's like traumatizing.
Yeah. Like
a good habit.
A good habit is not in a good situation, and you're just like, dang.
No.
Whew. Yeah.
Not in a good situation at all.
Not at all. Oh, another thing that I really liked is when they met up again after she just had the baby, and she was talking about how she's thinking things that she shouldn't be thinking. Like she looks at her daughter and she wants to hurt her or hurt herself. And
the intrusive thoughts.
Yeah, like August didn't like judge her at all, and was like, you should probably talk to your doctor because postpartum depression is a thing. And she was just like, no one, I mean, she hadn't really talked to anybody about it because she couldn't talk to her mom because her mom was just like, you should be living it up because you got your man and you trapped him with a baby and blah, 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 blah. So she's like,
he trapped her.
I know. She was like, I was legitimately trying to get away.
She was like, bro.
But he was just like, yeah, talk to your doctor because it sounds like you need some medication because like that's a thing. So, but yeah, she was fine after that. You know, she got that under control and she was writing down her innermost thoughts like her therapist told her to do. Mm-hmm. And he took her diary with her innermost kind of concerning thoughts. And
it's giving Verity.
Oh, I haven't read that book.
Oh, Nicole, please. You don't understand this.
I have the book. I just haven't read it.
Why haven't you read Verity, bro?
I don't know. I haven't. Sorry. God. Let me read it tomorrow. God.
No, Verity is good. Because, like, okay, so in the book, what happens is she finds Verity's manuscript. The main character finds Verity's manuscript, which kind of has, like, not just, like, bad thoughts, like, bad things she did to her children.
Oh.
But there's, like, twists and stuff. You just gotta read it to understand.
Okay,
but
I'll read it.
I was like, it's low-key giving Verity in that because, like, this manuscript, right?
She's like, this journal was homework from my therapist, and she said it was okay for me to write down, like, my darkest, deepest thoughts, and he used that as leverage and quote unquote evidence of her kind of. And when that bodyguard called Child Protective Services on her, like, bruh. That's why I wanted some closure with the bodyguard because he really deserved to go to jail.
Really, no, he was horrid.
Yeah, really deserved that. But yeah, so as she escapes, she heals, she gets in a relationship with August, and she decides to take it slow because she's like, quote unquote, can't trust herself, her judgment. But August is so patient, so loving, so gentle.
Yeah.
Just perfect.
It does. It has that little vibe with that. Plus, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't expect the kind of bad parts to last as long as they did.
They really lasted. You know what this book was low-key giving? Like a slight romantic suspense. I don't know. Especially at the end.
At the end there?
The end?
Because I feel like that is how like almost all romantic suspenses end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's how they all end. Like, she's on the run from somebody, whether it be, her abuser, a domestic abuser, or it's just like this killer who's had this fixation on her. So she's on the run, she's hiding. And there's always this big showdown at the end where the killer finds her and the hero has to save her. Hero didn't save her. Heroine saved herself by shooting him. So that was great.
But yeah, showed up.
He did. He showed up. He was on his way. It was a thought that counted in that moment.
Was. That's what the end was low-key giving romantic suspense.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like yes. Yeah. Sports romance, romantic suspense. It's a whole new thing.
Yeah. Which is weird because I don't normally like romantic suspense. And the end still wasn't like, I like the gratification, but still, I don't know, something about the big showdown just like doesn't, I don't really like it that much. But I'm still giving it 5 stars because if you read the book, you give it 5 stars. I don't understand. But I don't know, something about the showdown, it just always seems like unrealistic to me. Even though it's not necessarily, I'm just like
yeah. Also, it's kind of like, yeah, the big showdown, like, it's almost like, I wouldn't say necessarily saying like anticlimactic, but sometimes it's just like, if this, like you said, like unrealistic, like if this was real life, it probably would not have gone down like that. But
yeah. Cause like
yeah, I still really liked it. So action suspense.
See, I just don't really like. I don't really like action like that. So I think this is my problem.
Yeah.
The only like action I guess I like is in like thrillers and horror, like when people are getting like actually murdered. But I don't like showdowns in books.
Yeah. Yeah. I see that.
I still don't even really like action movies. The only ones I watch are like superhero ones, and that's just because they're superheroes.
Yeah, right.
But even still, then during the action sequences, I'm like,
yes, the fight scenes. Yes,
I'd be like, can I fast forward?
Really? I see. I love romantic suspense, but so that was kind of like a step above for me. It's morphin time. That's hilarious. But yeah, so I liked that, gave it a little bit more, edge maybe, but yeah. I like the suspensefulness that we got at the end, so.
I mean, it felt realistic though, because Kennedy Ryan set it up well. Like, we already know that he's a psychopath who will literally follow her. So like the fact that he followed her there, and like he already has a history of saying that he's gonna kill her, already has a history of like threatening her with a gun. Like, it just made sense, like how it happened. Like if he just like, this sounds bad, but like if he never used a gun before, or if like he never showed up or said that he knew where she was or anything, then I feel like it would have been more unrealistic.
Right.
But he already had that history, so it made sense.
Yeah, it's almost like if Kennedy Ryan didn't have that last scene, it wouldn't have made sense for it not to have ended like that, because
he had to die.
Yeah, he set it up to be like that. Like, he abused her with the gun. He always was saying like, I'll find you. You can never get away from me. Like, the threats were there. So it's just like almost like, like once upon a time, Prince Charming, I will always find you, but it's like bad.
Yeah.
So it's like she set it up so perfectly for it to end like that. And so if it didn't happen, I would feel kind of like we were robbed.
Yeah. And I also like, though, at the end, how August got her pizza and her root beer. He just remembers the little things, bro.
Exactly. It's the little things. He knew her so well. And when she got the job with Jared, and when he met up with her after being apart for so long, he gave her one of those irises that she was named after. I was like, that's adorable.
Like, men never understand this. It's like the little things, and when the little things don't happen, it gets irritating.
Yeah. Men always are like, I don't understand women. Like, read a romance, like one romance book in your entire life. Just read one. Like,
for real.
Do some homework.
It's really not that difficult. You know what it's like? It's like how my mom says the little things matter. Because I'd be like yesterday, right? My dad fell asleep at like 10 after he ate. And then I ate after him. So I put away the food because I was like, well, my mom's not gonna be home. She was working 2 hours overtime, so she wasn't gonna be home till like 1:30. So I was like, oh, let me put away the food, be a good child.
Be a good child, yes.
And then she was like,
so thoughtful.
yeah. And then I even put my dad's bowl in the sink and put his Cheez-Its in the pantry.
Daughter of the year. Daughter
Yeah, that's my one thing for this week, and not they have to wait till the renewal next week.
Next week you get a new thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have been like, find me, I'm ready to throw some hands. She did. She fought. Dang.
Not throw some hands. Is that your husband?
Yeah, like just slamming, kicking open the door. I'm like,
oh, is he like, when are we leaving?
No, I think he's like, I'm watching him on the camera and he's just getting the camper ready. So yeah, we're fine. But yeah, she did. She kicked his butt for sure. Yeah, he was down for the count.
Yeah. I'm just happy that I read this. I've been wanting to read this for so long.
Me too. I like, honestly, and I feel like I want to read the rest of the series like right now.
Mm-hmm. And you know, I was scared because I was like, everybody says it's so triggering. And while it was, I just should have knew better of myself. Because I was like, oh no, like I'm gonna be so sad and whatever. But I'm fine. Like I could read another one of these and be okay.
Yeah, I feel like, because I've read Real by Kennedy Ryan, and that one isn't as sad as this one for sure. I mean, it does deal with heavy stuff as well, but it's not as sad. But Kennedy Ryan, she gives you the sad, but the payoff at the end, like the HEA that they get after everything that they've been through, just makes it all worth it. You're like, oh my gosh, like you really did the payoff for us. Like, thank you. Like if I read like such a traumatizing book and the romance at the end, like after like whoever had gone through all that doesn't really get like a really satisfying HEA, I would have been like, dang.
Yeah, no, I just feel like she does really well with her books. Well, I've only read this one. I've only read Flow.
I read Flow.
Yeah, I read Flow, but I haven't read Grip yet. But I don't know. I feel like that might be her least sad series. I don't know. One of her least sad books, that series. Because nobody really talks about how triggering it is.
Yeah.
I think that one just has to do more with race than this one. I think that one has a lot to do with race.
Even like, yeah, you got a little bit of that in the prequel, but I feel like the prequel, like I haven't read the first like actual book in the series, so it's like I don't know if there's other triggering things in it, but it's just like the prequel is kind of like just setting up the series, so it's like, okay, it's not as triggering. William said I never read a romance novel. That's okay. Ask your mom. Chloe said I think this book is too long though. It took me forever to finish. I didn't think it was too long per se, but I thought like I said, I was surprised that the bad parts was so much of the book. I think that's probably why it felt so long, is because she was in that situation for such a long time.
Yes, but for me, I like the length because, well, I think the abuse went on for so long. It was like long, but like that's how it feels when you're in it. It feels long. So I think she did that purposefully. And then also for me, when I'm reading a book, right, like August could be the best character, like obviously like he is, you know, but like if the part with him after the abuse, if we only see them together for like this much of the book, then I'm not going to be as invested in them. Like I'm not going to care because like, so I think that's why it was so long, because she needed time to like build their relationship back up and like build, like she didn't want to just throw her in with August either. She wanted to like show her healing, and then her with August and her healing from August, and then, you know, everything at the end. So I think it made sense. And then the abuse was so long because like I think that's just realistic.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't mind the length either. I thought it was fine.
So I love
yeah.
And I finished it really quickly. Surprisingly, I was telling Nicole this because I didn't read for like a month and a half. And I was like, oh no. So I was going to start this book Monday because I knew once I started the book that I would continue reading it, which was true. But on Monday, I didn't start it. So then I started on Tuesday. And I only listened to like, I think I listened to, it's a 13-hour audiobook, I think.
It is, yeah.
And I think I listened to 4 hours. And then I listened to like basically all the rest of it yesterday.
Yeah, same. I started it yesterday, but I only read probably like 30% of it.
And I think that was me too. I read like 30%.
And then I read the rest today. But I was never, quote unquote, bored. It didn't feel long. That's what I'm trying to say, I guess. It didn't feel long.
No, not to me either. Just her and the abuse felt long.
Yes.
But that's how it is.
How it is. Yeah. I'm reading Blockshot now. Awesome. Yeah.
Are you liking it?
I'm gonna continue.
Are you in our Discord? You could talk about it in the Discord if you're liking it in the general chat.
Are you in the Discord?
Because, bro, I actually want to talk in the Discord now that I'm not in school, but nobody talking in the Discord. So I have no one to chat to.
I'm really, really bad at Discord. I'll try. Try harder. I'll try harder. Well, my apps are all in folders, so maybe if I took the Discord app out of its folder and put it like on the main screen, if I saw it, I would remember to check it. Because I don't get notifications. I don't get the number by the app like that tells you oh, you got a notification. I don't get that for Discord. So it's just like there's nothing to remind me to check it. You know?
Yeah. But
the first Tristan song was great. The first Tristan, you were there in the line. Tristan Strong punches a hole in the sky.
Is that a middle grade?
It's a middle grade, yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense. Because I was like, Tristan Strong punches the sky. Sounds like a middle grade. Oh, okay.
So yeah, for Uncle Rick.
I'm sorry. Now that y'all are reading like every Rick Riordan Presents book, I'm lost. You lost me.
Lost. Rosemary's liking it a lot.
Okay.
I have so many new books to read. That's awesome.
I'm hoping that I think it got me out of my reading slump a little bit. Because I did read it so quick. But you know what? April was just a bad month. And then it wasn't that bad anymore. But then I had finals. And then I had to move out, bruh. That was the worst experience. It wasn't, moving in, I cried because of frustration. But this one was just bad because I had so much stuff. Like my mom, imagine a minivan fully packed. Like my dad was like, there. And then she brought stuff back a different day. A lot of my books, I would say 70% of my books she brought with her a different day. She brought out a whole rolling thing. It didn't have much in it, but she brought it out a different day, and it was still full on that day with missing those things. Bro, I don't know. I have a problem. I just have a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
I have a lot of stuff.
Alicia's here. Hi, Alicia.
Hi. I have a lot of stuff.
Anything else you want to talk about?
I don't think so. I just really like this book.
I do too. I'm excited to continue. My Hoopla has all of the audiobooks, so I'm very excited.
Me too, because I'm attached to your Hoopla.
I love that.
Literally, it's a blessing.
All right.
You're literally the nicest person I know, bro. The nicest. Me? Yes. Yes, you be so kind.
I love you.
Ooh, I don't have nails on. I feel like a child.
I never have nails on.
Mine are just, I have little sausage fingers. That's my problem. They literally look like a kid's hand. You know what I need to do? No, that'd be bad. But I was like, if I get tattoos.
Oh, on your finger?
Tattoos or something. But the thing is, then I can't get jobs because this world sucks.
Oh, yeah. But you got your new job now.
Well, yeah, this one. Target's good, but I meant when I get into professional things.
Mm-hmm. Series, it's powerful. It's like Greek mythology, yes, and connects with our African American culture. Yeah, it's amazing. It's so good. The first one, 5 stars. A lot of characters. Yeah, I loved it. It was so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, our next book that we're reading for Swoon Sisters is The Simple Wild. We were having trouble with the title.
I thought you said The Simple Wild. I was like, what book are you talking about?
And I also called it something completely. I had wild correct.
Wild in it, but I was like, what is she talking?
What is she freaking talking about?
And then after that, we're reading Haunting Adeline.
Yes. Which
Oh,
I
wait,
do have the cover for that. I'm like,
yes. So if you want to know the content warnings for this, well, I'll put my hand like this. So if you don't want to know them, just mute me. Body shaming, parental abandonment, terminal cancer, and death of a parent. And those are the content warnings in the Simple Wild. Apparently, there may be more. Please, I did my best, but I haven't read the book, so I don't know. But I tried.
That's it. Okay, the Simple Wild. And the first, if we're back to Sundays, I didn't put a date because
we should be.
So be back to
I
Sundays.
asked for Sunday nights off early, so that way we could do them on Sunday.
Okay.
Should be the 5th.
It'd be, yeah, June the 5th, and it would be on Deja's channel at 8 p.m. Eastern. Okay.
And
so obviously dates are subject to change if things arise.
Yes, bro, I felt so bad.
It's fine. It's totally fine. But yeah, so
in our Discord.
I don't think I have to. I'll have to add the link in the description box because I don't think I have it in there. But I will. I'll add the link in the description box after this so you can join the Discord and so we can breathe some life into the Discord so we can talk.
I'm about to just chat in the general chat about nothing and hope people see it.
Yeah. I promise. I'm gonna move it. I'm gonna move the Discord out from my folder to the main screen so I'll see it and check it every day.
Yeah, that makes sense though.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Deja, have a wonderful night. Thank you so much to my co-host, everybody who's watching now and on the replay. I appreciate you so much. And everybody have a wonderful night. Bye.